Hey everyone, Keith Locke here, Tips and Tricks HQ. In this video here, I'm going to walk through an upgrade that I did to one of the core WordPress plugins. Now, I don't know if this really has any practical use, but it gives you an idea of how to go about making changes to the WordPress core widgets without editing any core files. And it also exposes some of the filters that are available for these widgets. All right, and I'll just go through the reason that I'm doing this, and then I'll show you the code and kind of go through that. And I'm going to upgrade this website, the custom menu widget on this website here, in this video, and then I'll show you how the process works, and I'll show you the upgrades and everything about why we're doing it. Now, this is my girlfriend's website here, and she uses the custom menu widget on the left side in her sidebar here. There's 3 of them, as you can see right here. And she decided that these are custom menus that she created, and she decided that she wanted to change the word search in the title of these to browse instead. So, not remembering that these were created with widgets, because it was a while ago when she was playing around with that and she didn't remember, she started looking around in here in the WordPress dashboard, and decided that in order to change the titles or the names of our menus, that it seemed most appropriate to go to Appearance and then Menus. So what she did, she went in here and then remembered that, okay, I could change the menu name here. So what I'm going to do, she's going to change it to Browse. I'll show you the process that she went through, and then we'll do each one. There's 3 of them. Okay, so she felt it most appropriate to be able to hop in here and change the menu names, and then figured, of course, it's going to reflect that way on the website. So just click on refresh, and lo and behold, these did not change. So immediately when she was describing it to me, I just thought it was a caching issue, because we're on a server that has a lot of caching in place. But then I realized that that's not the case. So then I let her explain further what it was she was trying to do. So I said to her, naturally, you have to go to the widgets where you place those custom menus, and then change the names and the titles there. But she felt that was very redundant, and she made me realize, yeah, there's a lot of redundancy there. It just feels like it's an unnecessary thing, because the menu that is chosen has a specific name. So if the title is left blank, it stands to reason that it should use the name of the menu in the sidebar. So let's see how that works here. So having modified those, we should be able to go back to the website and, according to her logic, see the names of the menus, since she didn't specify a name. So I'm going to click on refresh, and you'll see that's not the case. It actually does not put any titles in at all, because they're left blank, and that's the default behavior of the custom menu widget, whereas if there's no title, it just doesn't put one in. So what I decided to do is create a little upgrade for her, and I did it on a test website, so I'm just going to apply that upgrade here right now. Alright, so the first thing I want to do, I'm not going to create a plugin for this. I'm just going to add it to the functions file, and I'm certainly not going to modify the core WordPress files. And again, this is one of the default widgets that comes installed with WordPress. So what I'm going to do is go to the editor and open up the functions file, and what I'm going to do, just apply it right at the top here. So we already have the opening PHP tag there, so I'm just going to, with that in mind, I got the functions here. The first function that I'm going to put in there, what this will do is create a little text box, a checkbox in the widget form. It'll create a little checkbox down here, and I'll show you that. So this function here, first of all, what I'm doing is checking to make sure that we are in fact using the custom menu widget, and that's defined by the ID base of the widget, and if it's equal to nav_menu, then I know I'm working with the custom menu. Alright, and I found this on the WordPress developers website, but there's also you can do searches to find out the names if you're working with another plugin. Another widget. So this is the filter I'm using, and that filter is applied to all the widgets, and that's why I'm specifically making sure that I'm working with the custom menus widget, because that's the only one that I want to affect with this. I don't want to put this checkbox in every single widget. Alright, so essentially what I'm doing here is creating the text box, and if in the database that the text box value is true, then I want to make sure that when I put the HTML for the text box, then I'm going to give it a value of true, and that's essentially all this code does. And here's the label that I put in there: use menu name for title when title is left blank. Alright, of course I could have put some localization on there too for help with translations, but I'm just developing this for one website, not the masses, so I didn't go that route, but that can be done. Alright, I'm just going to click on save here. Just want to make sure that I have the right, okay, so yeah, I have a closing PHP, and then I use some HTML, and then I open the PHP tag again, so everything should be good there. I'm just going to click on update. Alright, and what this is going to do, now if I go back to widgets, to refresh the page here, now it says use menu name for title when the title is left blank. I'm going to select that and click save, but nothing happens. It doesn't actually save the state of that. All the code, the function that I put in there now, all it did was create this checkbox. Now I have to put in a new function so that it actually saves it. Alright, so I'm going to put that just underneath here, and again I got that function ready, and it uses the widget update callback filter. So alright, so basically what that's doing is it's looking, when the form is saved, when I click the save button, it's going to go through this function and store the value in the database. One just means true. If it's clicked, then store true in the database. Alright, so that's what that does there, and again it uses the widget update callback filter. Okay, update. So now when I refresh the widgets page, you'll see that when I check that and click save, it stays. The value stays in there. Alright, so I'm going to do that for all of them. I'm sorry, I just forgot which ones I did here. Alright. Okay, so that's saved. So when we refresh the website, there still won't be any changes made because I haven't actually did anything with the output that the widget outputs to the screen. So I didn't do anything, so it's still using the default behavior for the custom menu widget where it uses, if the title is blank, it displays a blank title on the actual website. So that nothing's been done with that. So there's one more function that I have to put in place, and this one uses the filter that calls a function just before the widget output is displayed. So that's what we want to tap into there. Just before it's displayed, I want to make sure, I want to take a look and see if I need to modify the title at all. Alright, so that's what this one does here. It uses the widget display callback filter. Alright, so in this one here, again, I'm looking to make sure I'm working with the proper widget, because I don't want to apply this to every single widget. It wouldn't work anyway because this checkbox probably wouldn't exist, but I still want to be clean with my code and make sure that I'm looking at the right widget, and of course I want to make sure that the title is empty, because if it's not empty, of course that's going to be the title that's going to be used. And then I don't want, in some cases she may want to use empty titles, so that's why I have that checkbox in place where I say, okay, if it's checked, which means that if it's true, if the value there is true, then that's when I want to go ahead and change the title of this particular widget instance. I want to change the title. Alright, so first what I do, excuse me, in this function here, instance contains an array, and in that array it gives the ID of the menu that is selected within the widget. So this menu that's selected has an ID. I think it's either 2 or 3, whatever the case is. It's all internal, and so I'm going to grab that ID, and then I'm going to use the WP get nav menu object function, pass it the ID, and that will return an object, an array with the that contains the information that I need. All right, so what I do is look at the name property of this, and that will give me the name of the nav menu based on the ID. All right, so then I can modify the title of this particular instance, this particular widget instance. I can modify the title on the fly before it gets displayed to the screen. Then I have to use this command here to display that information to the screen. And that's it, and that should be all that's required. I'm going to click on update file here and then refresh the screen, and now it has, each of these menus has a title, and it's using the title not from the widget because it's left blank, but it's actually using the title that was created using the menu tool. And that's essentially what my girlfriend wanted, so I decided to make that happen for her. And as you can see, it just requires 3 simple functions, and just playing around with that gave me a deeper understanding of the widget API and the various filters that are available, and it made it so I felt a little bit better about using widgets, because in the past I felt they were a little bit too static, so I hand coded sidebars a lot of times, and now I have a deeper appreciation for widgets, and I understand that it's a way better approach for a modular approach to setting up websites. And then if it's not dynamic enough for me, I can program that dynamic ability into it. Alright, that's it. I hope this has been straightforward, and I hope it's helpful to you, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.